Fingers crossed. Welcome back, everyone. It is now week 2 of the Shadowlands pre-launch event. And as you can see, there are a ton of players here, as Scaldy the Ruthless is about to spawn. And what I found out is that if you defeat him here in Icecrown, he has a chance at dropping the blue Proto-Drake mount. Now what I find funny is look at all these players over here that are like, hey look, we have the mount. Also, you may, if it does drop, the rarity thing should work, but my attempts are all reset. So I had some kind of technical issue with my rarity add-on, so all of my attempts, all the info of all my attempts and all the mounts, they pretty much have all been reset. Except for this one, though. Unless there was some kind of patch that actually fixed that somehow. But I doubt it, because a number of these... Oh, no, maybe they actually did get fixed. Except this. I know that this... I have not had just one attempt on that mount. I have like 30 plus. It's actually a very easy... mount to farm. You can just run straight to Scaldy and you know, take him down and try and get the mount. You don't have to take on any of the other bosses or anything. You can literally just run straight to Scaldy and try for the mount. It's very easy. I have had some luck with the stuff that drops from the rares here. As you can see, I actually have the bag, the 34-slot bag, that drops from one of the rares here. I also just had a trinket drop from Putricide, which is this one right here. You can see I've had a number of other, you know, this ring here, this from the Black Knight. So I've had a few things drop. So I've been relatively lucky. So let's see whether or not my luck holds out this time. You can also see my abilities are taking forever to actually react because of how laggy it is right now. Nope. No mount. Oh well. So up next would be Ingvar. By the way, they have reduced the spawn time of these rares in half. It was 20 minutes during the first week, now it's 10 minutes. And this is something I totally expected, because this is something they have done in the past. It's funny, I've been hearing people say, oh, this pre-launch event is terrible, it sucks, there's hard, you know, it's just... And I'm like, you know it's not over, right? Not only is there more content coming, but they are going to be, like, reducing the timers on these things, because that's what they've always done. Back in Wrath, the timer that it took for you to have to get a cure from the plague before you became a member of the Scourge was a good chunk of time, but each day the timer got smaller and smaller. You know, it ramps up the closer we get to the launch. That's kind of part of the idea. So let's go ahead and turn in these dailies, and then we will do the actual quest.
Can I help you?
Alright, there we go. I also have been getting some commendations in order to be able to fill out some of the rest of the slots here in my gear. Heck, I've been actually tempted to go back to BFA to get to 65 here on my necklace, just so I can be able to use a third essence.
Yes.
Alright, let's turn that in.
Always be at your best.
Looking for something specific?
Turn that in.
Have a good one. Safe travel.
And then we will turn these in. 25 of these gets you 3.
See you later.
And as you can see at the moment, I have 101. Because those rares drop a lot of them. You saw Scotty, I think he dropped like 44 of them.
Hello. Safe travels.
So give me a moment here.
The finest goods.
Take care of this before we move on.
What can I do for you? See you later. Good day to you.
Alright, let's see here. Okay, so right now I've got 32, so I can actually get 2 pieces because they're 15 each. There we go, and there we go. Now, of course, this means I'm going to have to say goodbye.
Have a good one.
to my Azurite armor piece. But it's not one of those strong ones anyway, so... Oh well. Go ahead and toss these on here. There we go. Alright.
Many deals for a friend of the Grummles. Like you. Good fortune to our friends. Wanderer.
Ooh, the lag. Yeah, it's usually not on my end. It's usually on Blizzard's end because of what's going on.
Farewell,
So.
friend of the Grummles.
Oh well. I'll deal with that later.
You have my attention.
So this is now the next step, and if you want to know, I actually found this really cool add-on here. So this is a great way to keep track of the story quests that you want to do. It's including BFA. I wish it would do this for the other expansions and such, if you want to keep track of all that. But look at this. You can be able to keep track of all the different quests of what you have done or what you have not done. So it's really awesome. It's even here for BFA or for Shadowlands as well. I'm being very careful. I'm not going to try and show those, just the prologue. But you can see here, it shows you've done all these, and then it shows week 2, which goes to this quest here, and then it's going to go down this way. Now you can set, there is an option, in case you don't want to get spoiled about anything, there is an option to make it spoiler free. So it'll hide some of that stuff, so. Come on. Come on. Alright, there we go. Gosh, things are going to be a little laggy today, it looks like. Our preparations are complete. It's time that we take the fight to the Scourge. Justicar Trueheart has tasked me with leading our efforts at the forward camp. Meet me there, and we shall continue our work together.
Our paths will cross again. Let's get moving.
Right behind you. So unless they change things, I have a pretty good idea of how this is going to go, because I did see a bunch of this in the PTR. I was very curious and interested in what was going to be happening. Because I do remember there was a point where we actually got to open a portal here in our little headquarter tents over here in the Argent Tournament grounds from either Stormwind or Orgrimmar, depending on what faction you're playing at. Playing on, excuse me. It's funny, Rarity did not count that as an actual attempt for that mount. I know that he drops it because it's all online. That's like, oh my gosh, you can get a mount by doing the rares. What they really should have said is that you get that specific mount from Scotty.
Investigations. We will see to this at once. The crusade stands ready.
Our scouts report increased activity among the cult of the damned. I believe it's time that we learn exactly what our fanatical friends are planning.
We shall prevail.
Though our scouts have been able to infiltrate the cultist forces at Aldur Thar, sneaking into Mordrathar has proven all but impossible. Perhaps it's time to explore other methods of ingress. Start by investigating the cult's nearby ritual chambers. You may find something of use. Maintaining a watchful eye on the cult of the damned has proven challenging and perilous. Several of our hippogriff riders recently ran afoul of the cult's winged terrors. Though a few were able to escape, the others were captured and brought to Aldur Thar. Do what you can to free them from their captors. We cannot afford to lose any more of our forces.
Stand true.
Hold on a moment. Let me chill here for a moment at this bonfire. Ah, looks like Ingvar is about to spawn. I don't remember. By the way, if you want to know how to be able to see who's coming up, this is a nice way to look at it. It actually provides the order in which each of them is going to spawn, so you can kind of plan ahead which ones to farm, since, of course, you can be able to see here, like this one drops this one drops this, and, of course, depending on what your class is, you can be able to determine, oh, look at that. This one actually added that info there before. That's interesting. It wasn't there before until after we beat him, and now it's like, oh, look at that. It actually shows that there was a chance of that dropping. I wonder if that was a recent update. Some stuff is needing to get updated. I did notice that. Now I pick up this buff called Lingering Warmth. Damage done is increased, and frost damage taken is reduced. I don't recall if Ingvar drops anything I need, so I don't think I'm going to bother. Who spawns after Ingvar, though? Keliseth. And Keliseth is right here. He drops a cloak. And what's... Oh. Yeah. At some point, we are going to get something in Shadowlands in the actual expansion where it replaces our legendary cloak as well as the Heart of Azeroth neck piece. So, I'm sure when you got attached to them in BFA, well, get ready to part with them. I mean, after all, we had to part with our artifact weapons in Legion, right? Get away, Guardian. Alright, hold on. There we go. And that's one of the reasons I love being a Death Knight. No, all of you just bunch up right here in this one spot. Don't be all so spread out. I love that. Especially when you're tanking in a dungeon. It's like, nope. Let me just bring all the trash right here. Okay, I've got a hood. So yeah, right now the idea is we're taking these guys down so we can get pieces of their outfits to use to be all sneaky. Oh gosh, look at the lag. Look at the lag. I assure you this cannot be on my end. We have really nice internet, and this sucker is also hardwired. So it'd be very unlikely, unless ours just kind of drops, that it would be on my end. It's got to be on Blizzard's end, which makes sense since it's a big, the first day of the second week of content, so people are logging in to try this out and check it out and see what it's like. Not to mention they also want to be able to unlock their portals from Northrend to their capital city to make getting here much faster, so we won't have to take the Dalaran in Crystal Song Forest portal all the time. Okay, you know what? Stop it. There we go. Come on, one of you give me a robe. Just making this harder. Ugh. So yeah, we're gonna be at this a little while. Just gotta wait for one of these things to, drop. It's an RNG drop, so it's not like I can go to a specific one and be like, it's a guaranteed drop. Which is unfortunate, but whatever. Get over here. I know people that have made macros that's, that spam yelling, "Get over here!" And I've considered doing that. But I know some people that were like, "Don't do that, please." Come on. Oh. Oh, the lag. Oh, the lag. Oh, it's painful. Oh, it's so painful. Waiting for the game to react. Holy mackerel. There we go. Whew. I did receive a notice that, by the way, there was an update to the game. And it did give me that notice of, some of your add-ons are out of date. Do you want to disable them? Otherwise it could affect the way your game runs. I'm like, I'm not really running too many things that are going to be that much of an issue. It's not like I'm running, what is it? ELVUI? I mean, this is like one of the only things, along with this right here, that I would think is going to be an issue when it comes to interface. Alright, now let's free some of these Hippogriff Riders. Yep. He's like, the things they do here. Oh, yes. If you look into some of the story, like just Nox Ramus alone is the stuff of nightmares. If you guys saw my video about soloing Nox Ramus in the soloing raid series I've done, you probably recall that story I mentioned about what it was like when Kel'Thuzad first went through that, when he was getting a tour of the place via either a Nuber Khan or a Nubarak. And the couple that was there, who was being held captive, because remember, Northrend used to have a bunch of just regular common citizens living here. Back before this became a very terrifying place to be. And this bothered Kel'Thuzad, and I'm going to say it was Nuber Khan, since we actually face him there. He was like, is this bothering you? I can stop that. He kills the wife, the husband gets all, devastated, and then she gets back up. And she kind of twitches and looks at him. The man who was her husband. And then she eats him alive. Like I said, it's the stuff of nightmares. It's the kind of stuff that you would expect to see in a horror movie. And that is very much what some of the horrible things that you experience when you spend enough time around the Scourge. But hey, the Burning Legion were just as terrifying at times. What we saw in Argus was an example of that. Okay. Need to free one more. I'm looking for a fifth one to free. It's not really giving me the little... Ah, there we go. Do you mind? There we go. Alright, let's go report in. Look at that. Look at that Argent Hippogriff Rider taking on a Frostbrood Guardian. Woo!
You have my attention. Our paths will cross again.
These should suffice. Though we have been monitoring the cultist presence at Mordreathar, we have not yet discovered what mysteries lie within its chambers. Take these robes, make your way into this inner sanctum, and see what you can discover. This may be our only chance to learn their intentions.
We shall.
So yeah, we're gonna be wearing a disguise. Oh, we're going over here. Oh. Oh, apparently, Kaliseth is about to spawn? Alright, it's on our way. What do you guys say we just drop by and take on Kaliseth before we go visit Mordreathar? There he is. There's Kaliseth. Let me just say, I love that all these rares are bosses that we have faced in the past, back in Wrath especially. Whether they be in dungeons, or whether they be in raids, like, Nox Ramus. I mean, there's Noth the Plaguebringer. Patchwork, of course, is here. Of course, Patchwork had to be one of them. Falric and Marwyn are here. I did get the Pauldrons from Falric. That was nice. I mean, Lady Death Whisperer. I mentioned Scourgelord Tyrannus. Garfrost. Novos the Summoner. Thranja. Bronham. This is the guy who drops the 34-slot bag. I got really lucky. I got that on the first kill. So, it's really nice I was able to get that. So... Does it really surprise you there's this much lag right now when you see this many players here? I mean, this is very common if there's this many players on. Nope. Just Scourge Stones. Okay, that's fine. So up next, I believe, is the Black Knight. But I got the one thing that I can actually learn from him, which is that helm. So, I do like that. If you can actually obtain something from them, it shows as a purple skull. But if you can't learn anything from them, it shows as a white skull. Just to help let you know which ones you should focus on, depending on what class you're playing. It's really nice. Let me put on my robes and be all sneaky, sneaky. Yeah, they'll never suspect a thing. I mean, why should they? Yes, I live to serve. And always keep an eye out for anything suspicious. Indeed. Anything suspicious. Lovely looking thing, isn't it? Don't mind me. Just a fellow member of the cult passing through. Up. Okay, so those things are going to be a problem. Do not allow this to happen again. You be very careful. Ooh, hello. Let's avoid these things. Submit to the darkness. Kneel alongside the devoted.
His power rising, his chains broken. The remaking has begun. The hour draws near when the banished one shall reclaim what is his. Death comes for the soul of this world. Make ready! Feed the lives of the unworthy to the hungering maw.
So, yeah. If it's not obvious, that is someone who is here on behalf of the jailer. Note what she said. His power is rising, his chains are broken, the remaking has begun. The hour draws near when the banished one shall reclaim what is his. Death comes for the soul of this world. So yeah, the jailer wants Azeroth's world soul. Because of course he does. That's what Sargeras wanted. That's what a number of our enemies have wanted. Pretty sure N'Zoth wanted it too. Now, for those who don't know, it's like, why would so many enemies care about the Azeroth World Soul? Because according to, I believe it was the Titans themselves, Azeroth's World Soul is possibly the most powerful Titan World Soul that has ever been created, including Aman'Thul, which is why it's a big deal. So yeah, the jailer is coming to basically consume Azeroth's World Soul for himself because, well, yeah. The news is rather unsettling. The words of the Shadowy Herald are dark and foreboding. Whatever the Banished One intends to accomplish, it must not come to pass. Now remember, we don't know about the jailer yet, as characters. Us players know, but the characters we're playing as and others, they don't know about the jailer yet. That's why we're like, who's this Banished One they're talking about? Something foul bubbles within the cauldrons nearby. Judging by the care with which the cultists are tending to them, their contents must be crucial to their plans. Several barrels containing what appears to be a new type of plague have been left unattended. Perhaps they can serve as instruments for sabotage. Alright, so it looks like I'm going to be going back inside. So I can sabotage some of that stuff. I, of course, can be able to put my disguise back on and just sneak back in. So I may have been a bit hasty leaving, but this lag is bothering me so much. Probably gonna have to, I don't know, wait until later or do a reload or restart something. Well, what do we have here? Aha. You fool! Our precious work! Oh, I am so sorry! It just slipped out of my hands. I must have butterfingers. Stop that! You'll ruin everything! That's the idea. Be careful, you oaf! Return to Ren at the Rampart. Just to reiterate what I was talking about earlier, you can see the little line of quests here to show that we are actually only a few quests away from finishing this, yeah, and you can see Portal to Orgrimmar established. The Black Knight is about to rise.
I serve.
Thank the light you returned unharmed. Were you able to learn anything about what the cult is doing? Yes, I did. This is troubling news. Whoever this banished one may be, it's clear that he's behind the Scourge's return. That the undead are amassing in great numbers outside Icecrown Citadel cannot be a coincidence. Lead our Hippogriff riders in surveying the area from above. Determine if the Dark Herald that you saw is among them, and then clear a path for reinforcements. Let us hope that she possesses the answers that we seek.
If we fail to prevent the spread of the Scourge, this camp may be lost. Do what you can to buy us time.
Let's take a look, shall we? Boy, how many memories does this bring back for some of you guys who played Wrath when it was current? There's this Herald. Alright, so now let's slay some Scourge, shall we?
I need a target. It's too far away.
This is hilarious. I'm a Death Knight and I'm using Blessed Hammer as if I'm a Paladin. Hey, look. They're still trying to get inside Icecrown. I'll be back for you. One, 6 days, actually. 6 days away.
The Crusade stands ready.
With their numbers momentarily reduced, now is our chance to strike. We may not know who this Dark Herald serves, but it is clear that the message she brings has emboldened the Scourge and the Cult of the Damned alike. This cannot be allowed to continue. We must vanquish her and strike a definitive blow against her master's new minions. Lead the charge. The Argent Crusade stands with you. Light willing, we will put an end to this madness here and now. This will unlock additional daily quests.
Tread carefully. We do not fully understand the power of this being. When the time is right, signal our allies and we shall bring this monster down together.
Hold on. First we have to take this thing down. Because it decided to be annoying and attack us while we're here. Therefore, it's now going to die. Okay. Now let's go slay the Herald. Forgive me for looking around. There are times I just love looking around some of these zones, including Icecrown. I've always loved Icecrown. You can see Dalaran right over there. Always loved Icecrown as a zone. The aesthetic and everything, just so awesome. Love it. Remember, that used to be just a glacier, and then this fortress was built by the time we got to Wrath. Out of Serenite. Which gives you an idea of how much blood Yogg-Saron provided them. We'll have to wait and see. I'm concerned that other players are gonna make this a little disjointed in terms of being able to actually help capture the story of this.
Fate is upon you, mortal.
Is that so? Ah! Silenced! Ouch. Now that, so I'm not silenced. I'll tank while this rogue over here provides the DPS. By the way, look at how awesome this herald looks, armor-wise. Look at that armor. That looks awesome. I want that armor. I want those wings. Oh, let me have those wings. Is it so bad I want us to have cosmetic wings like we do in Diablo 3? Is that really such a bad thing? I just think that would be awesome.
You cannot stop his victory.
We'll see about that. As I said before, get used to seeing some of these mounts. Especially when we get to the Shadowlands, I'm not going to be able to fly. You'll probably see me use the Crimson Death Charger and Rivendare's Death Charger, as well as my Vicious White Bone Seed. Maybe even Midnight, quite often. But yeah, these are like my favorite mounts for Death Knights. With some more that I'm hoping to acquire and be able to add to my collection.
You have my attention.
It seems that eliminating the Herald has slowed the Scourge's advance. We'll have to remain vigilant. Thank you for all that you've done.
We shall prevail.
You must bring word of what we have uncovered back to Orgrimmar. One of our mages can open a portal for you at the tournament grounds. As for the Argent Crusade, we must remain a bulwark against the Scourge. If you wish to continue aiding us, I will see to it that your skills are put to good use. May the light protect you. Establish a portal to Orgrimmar at the tournament grounds. Deliver the news to Lorthamar. And that's another...
Stand
daily.
true.
Ah! Bronham over here. Well, I already have the bag, so... Also, I bound my Hearthstone to that, Sunreaver Pavilion, so I'll just hearth there and be like, hey, can you open a portal for me? And they'll be like, yeah, sure. And that will effectively end the prologue questline. Right here, this mage here.
Anaria Shola.
Like I said, I saw a bunch of this in the PTR, so I knew what was coming. Take me to Orgrimmar, please.
Death to all who oppose us.
Interesting that this is now kind of the default loading screen at the moment. I wonder if they are trying to change the loading screen for the Icecrown Zone for something more relevant and current with Shadowlands. Because we've had that loading screen of Bolvar on the throne with the crown since the end of Wrath. I wonder if they are actually considering changing the loading screen to something more current. So you see, yeah, there's the portal. Now what's funny is after I did this questline in the BTR, when I would log in later, it wasn't there. But yeah, it's supposed to be there, and yeah. It's really nice and convenient that it's there now.
We have made many...
By the way, this is how it's supposed to look without a bunch of players blocking everyone. This is troubling news, indeed. To think that Sylvanas would willingly ally with such a dark power.
Never again shall a king... winged creature you encountered sounds like the very fiends who abducted Thrall, Bane, and the others. I had hoped you would find them held captive in Icecrown. But it seems our worst fears are true. That Sylvanas has taken them beyond the Shattered Veil. I will send word of this to the Knights of the Ebon Blade. We must devise a strategy to rescue our friends from the realms of death. Stay vigilant, champion. Fight back the Scourge wherever you see them encroaching. Once our plan is in place, you will be called upon to bring our allies home.
Okay. And that's pretty much the, alright, you're done until the actual expansion comes out. So I am, of course, very curious what Greymane says when we do this on the Alliance side. So I will more than likely do one more part to this, where I show this portion of the questline on the Alliance side of things. Mainly to show, here at the end, what Greymane's reaction is to what we just did. Because we got Lorthamar's reaction, that he realizes, yeah, they're actually beyond the Shattered Veil in the Shadowlands. So, but what does... how does Greymane react to that? I will intend to show that when we return. Stay tuned.